those of you who got an invite, welcome to Nerd Prom.
No matter where in the world you are, we're all Nerds International. With the hyphen.
Welcome one and all to the first ever podcast to have a horse.
We've got yet another record.
Fact.
Yeah.
We are record breaking. Because so we would be the record holder for first podcast to have a horse and most horses in a podcast at one.
Yep.
If anyone wants to try and beat that. Although we have made a really big mistake, haven't we?
I think we underestimated how hard it is to actually look after a horse when you're living in a flat.
It's not like buying a goldfish.
No.
You don't just win one at a fair.
No, it needs a little bit of room.
Yeah, we really fucked the ball on this one because the thing is, I don't know how to look after a horse. So, yeah, we do genuinely have one in here, and it's, the front room has now become the horse room. It's smashed up the TV.
Ryan Reeves seems to be settling in.
Yeah, he's a good horse, I'll give him that, but he bit my wife's hair while she was asleep. She's pissed off. She's leaving me.
Shit all over the floor.
Shit all over the floor. Oh, mate. So if there's any horse... I don't even know what you call them, horseologists?
Horse whisperers.
If there's any horse whisperers listening, please do call.
Horseologists.
Please do call 1-800.
We need help.
We need horse
We need
help.
horse help, yeah. Coming at you live from the lair of the final boss of a badly written adventure, it's me, Nick Lamley Lambslice.
And me, Harrison Hunt, aka Quisling.
And together we are...
The TableTopTwats!
Woo! Why do we always... Oh, we've got to stop cheering ourselves.
No, you cheered. I didn't cheer.
Fucking narcissists.
Yeah, exactly. But we've got a bloody show coming up for you today because, as you will know if you're a regular listener, but just for those that aren't, this is an RPG show all about tabletop RPGs.
Yes, it is, mate.
Good. I'm glad you confirmed that because I didn't know.
Podbot, is that right?
Correct.
There we go. We're on.
Thank God for him.
Yeah. This whole thing would fall apart if it wasn't for Podbot.
Yeah, I know. But, I wouldn't even know what this show even was.
Or why I'm here.
But this show is jam-packed full of features, so jam-packed, in fact, that it's fit to burst. We've got What You've Been Slaying, where we discuss what we've been playing. We've got the main subject, which this week is going to be the Battle of the Bubblegums.
Ooh.
I know, but we're gonna keep that under the hat for the minute, and we'll tell you about that later. Then we've got
the Chamber of Challenges,
followed by the Summoning Circle, where we summon dead celebrities to talk about RPGs.
As always, we've got the Electro Letters,
where we read your mail, and then we've got our award-winning outro.
Yep.
So it's gonna be such a show. I can't even begin to fathom it.
Yeah, it's gonna be an absolute
show,
rip-roaring show.
Yes,
we hope.
we can't promise that, but we'll try.
There will be some kind of thing.
Well, yeah, it's gonna be some kind of thing.
It's gonna be something,
and we'll try our best.
We're in the sweltering heat, the hot Red Hill heat.
Red Hill, Africa, that is. So let's get the fuck on with it.
Let's do this.
Oi! Yeah? What you slaying?
Yeah, so this is What You've Been Slaying, where we talk about what we've been playing. It is a clever pun. Innit?
Yes.
Thanks, man.
Indeed it is. It's cutting edge punnery if ever I've seen it.
Oh my god, thank you. So basically this week we've been playing Vampire the Masquerade.
Oh yeah.
And we've been having a good time with that.
It's brilliant, yeah.
These guys are trying to investigate this old group of, ancient people that are going around killing vampires, and they appear to have this like great technology and stuff like this. Anyway, they found a expended bullet shell from one of their guns and traced the metal back to a mine that was on an island outside of the city that they're currently in. And whilst there, on the way up, they passed a group of Chandrine in a jeep that saw them on the way up. And whilst they were in the mine, they were basically investigating, and they were trying to steal some of the miners' work passes.
It was a big stealth operation. We was hoping to get a pass off the one of the miners that was having a fag break, and then we was going to try and infiltrate the mine and pick up some, any kind of evidence or information. And well, yeah, that's what we wanted to do. Didn't quite go that way.
No, because basically what happened was Stanley, who's a Malkavian, and he can turn invisible, but it's only until he interacts with an object.
And then completely comes back again.
So what happened was he went up to a guy, tried to steal his work pass to try and get into the mine. Instantly, the guy saw him, and then Stanley was trying to run away, and everyone saw him trying to leg it.
Basically, I just went invisible, didn't I? And everyone was like, "What the hell?"
Yeah, everyone saw you go invisible, and then at that point, Veronica, one of the other people, tried to step in and like join in, sort of like seeing an opportunity. And to be fair, this wasn't a bad idea. She sort of saw the opportunity when, while everyone was confused, they were like, "What the hell? Did you see that guy just disappeared right now?" And she just stepped in and went, "Yeah, wasn't that weird?" And just pretended to be one of them.
And then they were like, "Hey, who are you?"
Yeah, because there was no women working there, basically.
Right.
I mean, well, I know that sounds sexist, but this was set during the 90s, so it makes sense. And so, yeah, they were just like, "Who the hell are you?" And then she was rolling badly on all of her fucking rolls.
Bad
my God. And, so she was rolling badly on everything. They didn't believe her. A fucking fight broke out. Everyone starts fighting the miners, the people that they weren't even there to investigate in the first place.
A lynch mob happens.
Yeah.
They get run over.
Yeah, they were just there to investigate a purchase order from the Chandrian buying metal from this mine, and they ended up fighting all the miners.
Yep.
Started killing everyone. And then after this big fight happens, they've all revealed themselves to be vampires because they're using their vampire disciplines left, right, and centre.
Yeah. Then we clock the boss up in his digs, if you like, spying at us for a scoped rifle at the top of the building. So we had to go and confront him.
Yeah, and he had all his like mining equipment on.
All
so
he
had like all this like heavy duty shit on.
Yeah.
Because he'd just seen what they were capable of, and obviously he was up in his bunk, sort of like putting all this stuff on. So he had the welding mask. He had like the heavy duty like mining
burn-proof jacket on. Huge boots. Like he had a rifle and a
welding torch.
And
of course, vampires do not like fire. So this went badly because we had the two guys with celerity, which is basically super fast vampire speed, went up to go and confront him up there, while the two guys with guns stayed down the bottom
taking their aim and
trying to shoot him through the window.
Yep.
And it was a pretty cool fight. And then after that, like, basically what happened is that the Chandrian who'd passed the guys earlier had obviously tipped somebody off. So not only did this one fight happen, I thought it made perfect sense because the Chandrian had gone back, tipped off the guys, and then they didn't just come back to confront you, they'd sent the heavies to come and confront you. They sent the big guns
in, didn't they?
But you heard the Jeep coming from a mile off, because I got you all to roll your notices or your perceptions or whatever, and you guys heard the Jeep coming from a mile off, and you were like, fuck, we recognise that sound as an all-terrain vehicle.
Yeah.
So we better just hide.
And we remembered we'd seen a Jeep earlier, and we thought, well, it's got to be them. It's got to be the Chandrian, or let's not risk it.
Yeah,
because these guys are lethal.
Exactly. At the very least, let's get into the woods, because you knew these guys had expert equipment. You knew these guys were capable of killing vampires in a heartbeat. So let's get into the fucking woods. And everyone sort of like hid around in and around the
One
mine.
of our guys disappeared into dirt because it's one of his disciplines where he can literally just go into the ground.
He's got earth meld.
Earth meld, yeah. I went invisible.
You went invisible.
Hanging out in the woods.
Yeah.
Nothing creepy.
And then the other guys basically just hid where they could.
Yeah.
But as they were hiding, they noticed that the Chandrian basically, what the Chandrian like to do is erase any sort of trace.
Any trace of what they've been up to.
Either they've been up to or vampires have been up to. So they basically just started planting C4 everywhere. Thinking that oh, okay, well, this vampire fight's happened, we've made purchase orders here, so we have to erase all trace of our existence ever being here. So they would just, whistle while you work. They were just like, dum, dum,
and if the vamps are down the mine, all the better.
Yep, so they just started planting C4 all over the fucking place.
It was nothing. Like they're throwing out taffy.
Exactly, throwing out yesterday's taffy. And it was really funny because that meant that the guys really had only a couple of options. It was like, okay, well, do we sneak out now and potentially get noticed by them, or do we bide our time
and hope they don't blow us up?
And it was a really, really tense.
It's tense, man. Yeah.
So they had to try. So what they did in the end was waited for them to finish what they were doing and bugger off, and they set the C4 on timer and then started driving off. But at this exact moment,
James, out of nowhere.
Derek, wasn't it?
Derek's his character.
Yeah, Derek's his character name. He basically just darted forward as they started driving off, dunked a grenade into
homemade grenade he had made earlier, isn't it? Yeah.
Into their Jeep, and then tried to run away. But what he forgot is that one way that the Chandrian like to erase any trace of their existence is that they're all fitted with explosives that go off once they die.
When the heart stops, isn't
when
it?
the heart
just
stops.
explodes, yeah.
So, basically, the grenade blew up one of them. That blew up the next guy. That blew up the next guy. The Jeep blew up.
Yeah.
Then that blew up the C4. That blew up all the other C4.
Mine blew up.
The mine blew up. So, basically, it set off this huge chain reaction. Everyone had to roll athletics plus dexterity to get away. The two that had celerity, the vampire speed, had an easier time of it, but they still had to roll for it anyway.
Yeah.
But everyone had to roll to get away, and everyone was just fucked and buggered.
Beating, it was nasty.
Yeah, there was. If it wasn't
aggravated damage, you're in big trouble.
yes, if it wasn't the explosion, it was fucking giant bits of fucking porter cabin.
Shrapnel coming flying at us, yeah. And then we were. So we was pretty pleased, obviously, that we'd taken out these. I mean, and these were like this was like an elite crack kind of force, wasn't it? That come in this special unit or whatever, and we took all 4 out in one go. So we was really pleased. But then we realised we were battered, quite far from home, with no transport, and the sun was soon to come up, and we was like, well, man, what are we going to do now? So we just had to dig a hole and go in the ground.
Yeah, it's not the most comfortable.
Pretty
but
rough.
If you that's what you got to do sometimes. If you're a vampire, you got to sleep in the dirt.
Sleep in the dirt, baby. But all turned out pretty well. We got off the island, got back to the town. We popped into our club that we recently acquired to see how our new charge hand was getting on, and he had turned the place into an absolute hit.
Yeah, so they acquired a club recently in the game and hired a new manager because one of the characters is quite rich, and he employed a new manager, and they'd seen that after all of this shit and after being battered and their mine mission going pretty badly, they've seen that their club is now a new haven for vampires everywhere, and people are having a nice time where previously that club was a dive for depressed people.
That's right,
And so there was some silver lining after all, but overall I think that was a really, really atmospheric, fun mission. Yeah. Despite the fact it actually didn't work out, you didn't get any information and ended up just trying to really...
Nearly just staying alive.
Yeah.
To be honest,
just not die.
Yeah. But no, it was a tense session, but it was brilliant. No one died, and we got back. So there you go. And we took out some serious Chandri on the way.
Yeah.
Decent.
So well done, mate.
Yes, thanks very much, mate. It was great.
Vampire. It's a bloody RPG. It involves being pretty angsty.
When I step on the scene, I cause a real brouhaha. Cause I'm Bruja and I got the muscles like ooh la la. But I don't need obfuscate cause I disappear into the earth again. Earth melt motherfucker, jump out and strap a motherfucker with a pen. Jump out, roll stealth and ruin it by yelling, I'm Reggie. Got a taste for that blood, that's why I gave up being veggie. Yeah! Vampire rap. Yeah, boy.
The next thing I wanted to mention very quickly, and I'll try to keep this brief, was I played a bit of Deadlands.
Oh, yes. What's this, episode 3?
Episode 2, actually.
2.
It's only my second Deadlands session so far, but this is a basically a self-authored campaign that I'm doing, and basically the party is a group of I will say mercenaries that are dedicated to the destruction of the worst inventions to come out of the advent of Ghost Rock.
Okay.
So Ghost Rock is basically this substance in Deadlands that is basically, it makes weird inventions happen. Yeah, the whole explanation in the book is it's an RPG. Don't think too much about how it works.
Shh, don't worry about it.
Yeah, it make big invention happen. Shut up.
Shut up, Ghost Rock. Woo.
Yeah, so basically, in this particular adventure, what happened was this little Scottish guy had basically started a mining company in America, and what he'd done was created, using Ghost Rock, an invention called the Earthquake Mining Machine, which is a name that I stole from Call of Cthulhu, but I don't think it works the same as how it worked in this. And all it was an incredibly powerful drill that was badly made by an idiot, and when he turned it on, it would just mine in all directions. So, but it wasn't it wasn't like a good machine, but it would create a mine.
Right.
And if he just turned it on and just fucked off for a
You'd
week,
get a mine somewhere.
yeah, he would come back, and sure enough, the mountain would be mined into, and he could probably get something out of it. It wasn't accurate, but he would get some ore from
Done
it.
its given purpose.
Yeah,
Slightly.
and basically what he did is he turned it on, fucked off down the pub for a week, and when he came back, he'd awoken something in the darkness.
Oops.
And yeah, so the two of the NPCs had captured him, put him in the cupboard, and then all the PCs could interview this guy and have words with him and just say, you know, what the fuck were you thinking? What should
2 weeks down the pub.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
what can you expect? What can we expect when we get down there? They could interview him, this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
So that was pretty good. And then they got to go down there, and when they went down there, it was just basically a bunch of sort of hideous creatures, like disgusting creatures. I went for that sort of horror.
Grotesque.
Yeah, and sort of like I wanted to have a lot of gameplay affecting things. So you had swarms, and every time the swarms died, they left behind this sort of like grey goo. And whenever the players stepped in it, they would get levels of fatigue.
Ooh, nice.
So they had to try and like bait out the enemies and be careful where they killed them, so they wouldn't block off paths and things like this.
Okay, nice.
And then later on, they had ones that would spit the grey goo and things like this, and they had paths in the mine that were difficult to traverse because they weren't. It wasn't mined in any expert fashion, and things like this. So. Basically, at the end, the final boss was this massive, like brood mother type thing that had assimilated with the earthquake mining machine to make this hideous beast.
Whoa.
Who kept on like jittering about and accidentally switching it on. So not only would it be this big hideous spider monster with loads of eyes and tentacles and
Start
this big
smashing
maw,
the place up
it would
as
also
well.
have a big drill on the front as
Wow.
well. So
Oh my
yeah,
God,
it,
yeah.
And it would just go mental and start smashing the place up. So
Nice.
they were sort of having to fight it, but periodically tried to switch the switch off when it started vibrating as well.
Yeah.
So it was like I wanted to just have like not like I guess it was kind of a dungeon crawl.
Yeah,
But
in
I
a way,
wanted,
yeah.
like have a horror based dungeon crawl with sort of puzzly elements to it, to the
And a
fights.
crazy monster, not your run of the mill.
Yeah, so that was sort of what I was going for.
Like
and
it.
yeah, I had
Did
a
you
really
manage to leave it on a huge cliffhanger again?
well, it was sort of a self-contained adventure,
Oh, right.
and then each one's going to be like a new invention. Like it's sort of like a Monster of the Week type feel.
Yep.
And I'm going to go for different elements of horror, investigation, that kind of thing. And they really, really enjoyed it.
Awesome.
Yeah, so Deadlands is fucking fun, man, and I really, really, really like the setting. It's such a flexible setting. I've heard a lot of people say that. And the first one I did was like, you know, big battle against some bandits with like
Yeah.
200 versus 200 people.
Well, big town protection type thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, now I'm doing this whole fucking
Monster mine.
monster thing, and the next one episode I'm doing is all about a train baron, and I won't spoil that, but yeah, so I'm enjoying the hell out
Nice,
of it.
mate.
So people check out
It's
Deadlands.
diverse then.
Yeah, extremely. You can do horror, you can do action, you can do investigation.
Whatever you like,
exactly.
it caters for it.
Do what
alright?
you fucking want. All right.
Don't listen to us. Do what you like.
Yeah, don't even listen to it. Well, do listen to us because that is sort of how this podcast thrives.
Oh yeah. No, do listen to us.
Do listen to us
and do what you want.
at the same time.
It's a good message.
Yeah. But that's what we've been playing this week.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah! But now we kept that brief because we've got a big main subject for you this week. So
Oh, yeah.
we are gonna get right on with it, ladies and gents.
Get right up in here.
Let's get right up in there.
Main subject. Main subject. Main subject.
So
I think
today,
this could be another award winner.
which one?
This whole segment could be another award winner.
You reckon?
The most tenuous link ever.
Oh right, yeah.
2017.
So we've come up with we're doing a battle today,
Yeah.
ladies and gents, and Nick is right, most tenuous link ever because we're battling two very similar games today.
Yeah.
We're doing Bubblegum Crisis versus,
Against Bubblegum Shoe.
and the only way in which these are linked is they both have bubblegum in the name.
That's it.
So that is, ladies and gentlemen, we're doing Battle of the Bubblegums today,
Yeah.
and it's going to be a corker.
Here we go.
But yeah, so it is the anime mecha game set in a cyberpunk world versus the teen detective storytelling game. And I'm going to start with Bubblegum Crisis.
Kick it right off.
Based on the hit anime video series, Bubblegum Crisis role-playing game is packed with art and information never before published in English. It's everything you need to play in the world of 2033. Join the Night Sabers and the AD Police in their quest to protect Mega Tokyo from Genom and their fearsome boomers, or you can create your own adventures with the new fusion system.
I just want to know what Genom and Boomers is already. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's really weird. You'd think it was pronounced genome when you see it written down, but
Genom.
no, but it's Genom.
Genom.
So that's a quote directly from the back of the book. Now, I realise for all the anime haters out there, there's probably a lot of people that have just switched right the fuck off. But this is actually a really, really awesome cyberpunk setting, and it shares a lot of similarities with really popular retro-futuristic shit like Blade Runner, RoboCop, and Ghost in the Shell, which I'm aware is another anime. But actually, at the back of the book, I doubt you'll be able to find it very quickly, but there's a bit right at the back of the book where it lists stuff that's quite similar.
Oh.
And it actually lists RoboCop, Terminator, Ghost in the Shell, I think some other stuff that I haven't heard of. Oh, Blade Runner is another one, as I said. So, yeah, I mean, it is an anime styled game, but it actually has a lot in common with a lot of Western stuff that people really love. So, hear me out, listeners, because you will like this, believe me. Yeah, so the book starts with basically 16 amazing comic book-like glossy colour pages. Oh, yeah.
All 16.
All 16 of them, baby. With amazing artwork describing the world. And basically, it goes like this. So, Tokyo was all goofed up by a massive earthquake in 2025. And a gigantic corporation called Genom saw an opportunity to buy up some cheap real estate, and in the wake of the tragedy made these machines called boomers. And they're basically like extremely dexterous, strong and capable Terminator-like robots that were supposed to be used to help space exploration and war, but eventually, of course, domestic models were made too. And now you can have machine gun boomers, space boomers, and even boomers that make you coffee and tea.
Oh, very nice.
So if you look at the cover here, just see that big robot dude?
Skeletor that got like guy, yeah.
Yeah, you can have one of those in your house that makes coffee.
Morning.
Would you like coffee?
Yeah, so
Sold.
yeah, so basically, as all these like stories often go, right? I mean, you've seen fucking like iRobot or any of those movies. Eventually, you know, they started going bad.
They're not having it anymore.
And they started going rogue and all of this.
Yeah.
So with their insane strength and coffee making abilities, they started causing great tragedy. And so the AD Police were formed, and they're basically an anti-rogue boomer task force.
Nice.
Very
scary, these boomers, to be fair.
Yeah, they literally look like Terminators,
Really
don't
creepy
they?
looking, yeah.
They imagine the Terminators, you know. Yeah, you know Terminators when they...
the old original model, the Skeletor type one.
Yeah, except they look more muscly.
Yeah, more built up, bigger, and actually more scary. They've
And in
almost
this,
got like reptile faces almost.
Yeah, and in this they're often like 9 feet tall, and they come in all different varieties as well. But similarly to Blade Runner...
Laser detail, sorry.
Yeah, similar to Blade Runner, they often look like humans as well.
Humans.
Yeah, so you can't tell, and there's often points in the anime where one of them will punch somebody in the face, and then it'll be like ding, and you'll be like, shit, you're a boomer.
Boomer in disguise.
Yeah.
Nice.
As a result of all these rogue boomers, the AD Police were formed, and they were basically an anti-rogue boomer task force. And as it mentioned on the back of the book, you in this role-playing game, you typically play as the Night Sabers, not the AD Police.
Right, okay.
And who are the Night Sabers? Well, basically, Genom weren't the original creators of the boomers. They actually nicked the idea from the original creator, a bloke called Dr. Katsuhito, after murdering him. So his daughter, Cylia, created yet another anti-boomer task force called the Night Sabers, but they're basically like vigilantes for hire as well, so they will just take any job.
Renegades.
Yeah, if the money's right.
Yeah.
But they are, you know, they do work for good, mainly. So they're also dedicated to sort of taking down Genom because they're bad people that do bad shit, basically, and killed Cylia's dad. So the Night Sabers are much fewer in number than the AD Police, and obviously operate, not within the law, but they have they're armed with amazing technology, weapons, and research thanks to Cilia's father. So we get into the tech later, but it's literally one of the best bits about the game. So basically, yeah, you play as these like really, really cool vigilantes that are armed to the teeth with amazing technology, and we will get into that. Basically, after this like summary of the world and all of that, the book gives you a summary of all the episodes of the main anime, and basically, if you don't want your players to sort of watch all of it and before you play the game, you could just say, well, just read these couple of pages.
Nice.
So it's kind of nice to include that. I feel like they didn't have to do that, so it's pretty fucking cool. Basically, you play as I said, vigilantes equipped with like this bleeding edge technology in a dystopian futuristic Tokyo in a world that's already lost to a mega corporation that continues to create illegal technology while its people, grown cold and apathetic, idly sit by and watch the neon city go down the shitter. So it has to be said, 10 out of 10 for creativity. What do you think? Sound like the sort of thing you would like to play?
Oh yes, absolutely. Sounds awesome. Really like the sound of this.
Yeah. So basically, as I said earlier, and it says on the back of the book, this uses the fusion system.
Ooh.
So a lot of people might not know about this.
What the hell's the fusion system?
The fusion system, Nick, is basically cyberpunk technology. It's like an RPG, but you need to inject it directly into the veins.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Tiny robots are injected into the eyes. Nano RPG.
And you play within your eyes.
Exactly. No, it's not. It doesn't work quite like that.
No.
It's no. I'm sorry to disappoint you.
What?
But yeah, basically, the fusion system was made most famous by, everyone knows it. It's the classic.
Go on.
Cyberpunk 2020.
Ah yes.
So it's basically a system developed by the publishers of this game and Cyberpunk, and a whole host of other games such as Mechton, Dragon Ball Z RPG, and of course,
Everyone's favourite.
Zorro, the RPG. It's funny because when I was doing the research for this, and I was looking at all the games that use the fusion system, the Zorro RPG didn't even have a Wikipedia page.
Oh man.
I mean,
we need to find that.
We got to track that down.
We got to track that shit down, yeah.
But when you play the Zorro RPG, I'm not that well versed on Zorro, but it's like when you sort of start to play the game, right? You sit down and everyone's like, okay, let's create our characters, guys, and then one guy goes, I want to be Zorro, and everyone else at the table's like, shit, fuck.
Can I be Zorro too? No.
No, there's only one. No, do you know what would be wicked if all 4 players played Zorro?
And they think the others are imposters. I'm Zorro. No,
I'm Zorro.
No, and it's just infighting.
And they all come from like an insane asylum where everyone thinks they're Zorro, but they all broke out. See, that would be sick. That's why we need to track down the RPG.
We're looking for that now.
So the name of the fusion system is derived from the idea that because they all use the same generic system, they can be played together and fused together.
I see.
You get it?
Very
Kill me.
clever.
So first off, when you open this book up, you get into the character creation, and I should mention at this point it is very open. You don't have to be a member of the Night Sabers, although quite why you would want to not have all that cool technology and shit. You could be an AD policeman, but actually they do get some really cool shit too. Like we'll get into that later.
Yep.
You could just be a guy. You could be anything you want. But first of all, you have to pick a life path. And this is basically like picking a basic personality, what your character values most, your worldview, your early childhood events, your friends and enemies, your incidents of love and war, your current situation, including good and bad stuff, your current outlook on life, and your age. I think this is actually really cool. I mean, obviously,
Gives more depth to your character, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, but it does it in a way that actually sort of like helps you along.
Yeah.
And if most people would just go fuck that and then just write their own backstory, and fine, you can do that, but this gives you actual examples, and it actually sort of gives you loads of options. So it's got big lists, and you can roll randomly as well.
Oh, that's cool.
So I actually did that. I rolled randomly, and this is what I came up with.
What did you get?
I got a shy and secretive bloke that values his pets above all else and wants nothing more than vengeance on his enemy, but believes that every person is an individual and comes from a poor family. During his childhood, his mother was exiled and returned under an alias, and now the character in his adult life is being hunted by a powerful organisation.
Wow. That's pretty
But that was
impressive.
just it's pretty cool.
And that was just from a table?
Yeah, I just rolled randomly. It took me about 30 seconds, and then obviously you can flesh out what the organisation is, or, you know, what happened, why his mum was exiled.
You've got a very strong skeleton straight away. And
Yeah.
especially if you're not that good imaginary, you know, say you're getting into a game and you're more into the dice rolling aspect of it, and you've never been that good at backstories or the RPG side of it, mate, you've got a lot to work with there.
It's a nice extra, because they could just say, decide on a backstory, and instead they put it in there for you.
To actually do a nice random table for you.
So then you create the rest of your character, and this is a lot like other RPGs. It's broken up into stats and skills, but the stats are intelligence, will, personality, technique, reflexes, dexterity, constitution, strength, and movement. The only one that seems odd there is technique, which I didn't quite understand, because I was like, oh, well, you've got reflexes and dexterity in there as well. But this is basically the ability to use tools for tasks.
Oh, okay.
So it could be painting, it could be lockpicking, things like this.
Anything, yeah.
Anyway, you then buy skills with skill points that are determined by whether or not you're playing a realistic game or an action-focused game, blah blah blah. Then you get given campaign points. Everything your character owns and knows is bought with these from here on out. So you can buy skills such as demolitions, hacking, law, mecha pilot, scientist, and wardrobe and style.
Oh, for them fascist conscious players. Fascist?
For the fascists.
For the fascist conscious.
You know what? Say what you like about the Nazis, but they were well dressed.
Impeccable style.
But the thing is, so yeah, I mean, I don't know. Actually, I like the fact that that's in there.
Yeah.
Because in an anime-focused game, I bet you there's a lot of people that want that.
Yeah.
I mean, I personally probably wouldn't pick it, but I mean, if you want it.
It's cool though. I mean, you think of, always going back to Overwatch, but you look up Diva with all her different skins.
I know,
It's
but
quite cool.
a lot of people, I think that's an important thing in this type of game, especially one of the main characters from the anime, because I have been watching it in preparation for this episode. She owns a lingerie store.
Ooh.
And so I was thinking, like, if you wanted to have that kind of backstory, or let's say, for instance, if you wanted to, like, instead of just having charm or persuade or something like that, maybe you have wardrobe and style, and that's the way that you try and convince people. It's something different, isn't it?
I like it, yeah, definitely.
So you could just be like, I want to convince this person, I want to try and charm this person, but the way I'm going to do it is by putting on this sexy thing that I always have handy with my wardrobe and style, or I want to put on an amusing hat to try and distract this person.
Exactly.
And you put on this fucking Chiquita banana hat. And da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Whoa, look at that guy. Yeah.
That's a crazy hat.
Hey, man, let me see your hat.
Hey, come right in.
Yeah, it's work.
Any guy with a hat like that must be trustworthy.
Absolutely, yeah, I like that.
If you roll high enough. Yeah, so pretty fucking cool, really. So you can also buy talents, perks, and privileges. Talents are things such as ambidexterity, common sense, where the GM will occasionally tell you if you're doing something dumb. Night vision, speed reader, where you can read a 200-page book in 10 minutes.
Oh, wow.
The perks and privileges cost more depending on which level you buy them at, and it can be things like a premium membership at a club somewhere, a contact, wealth, someone owes you a favour, a license of some kind. If you wish to amass more campaign points, you can also take complications. These are negative points to your character that will allow you to get more points to spend on stuff. You can get stuff like bipolar, unlucky, airhead, dependents, such as babies. And all of these can be worse depending on how many points you want to gain. Interestingly, we now get into the dice rolling mechanics and how the game works. And there's an intro to the game, and it says the game either works with 3d6 or 1d10.
Oh.
And I know that other games in the Fusion system also say you can use a d20 if you want.
Okay.
So the way it works is for task resolution, you basically decide at the start of the campaign which dice you're going to use. So damage is always d6s.
Right.
But for task resolution, so like rolling your acrobatics, you can either use 3d6 or 1d10.
Right, okay.
So basically, whenever you do anything, you will always basically use either 3d6 or 1d10. When you roll it, you add your skill to it, right?
Okay, yep.
But when you do it, the difficulty changes depending on which system you're using.
Right, okay.
So it might be like, for instance, an easy task would be, I don't know, say a 10. I'm pulling these numbers out my arse, but it might be a 10 if you're using 3d6. It might be a 12 if you're using a d10. I can't remember, but it's something like that. So yeah, you can basically use either if you want.
That's cool.
And personally, I was thinking of using a d10 and then d6s for damage because it changes up.
It's nice to roll different dice.
Yeah, and it means that it differentiates when you're using damage versus when you're using task resolution, and I quite like that. I think it's cool that it gives you an option as to what you want to do.
Whatever you fancy.
And then it's got tables in the book for difficulties depending on which dice system you're
Sure.
using. Combat is fairly simple. There's loads of advanced maneuvers and shit that I won't go into, but it's fairly simple stuff. Attack rolls versus defense rolls, taking cover helps, armor shaves off damage, that kind of shit. Perfectly functional and decent. Reminds me a lot of Shadowrun. And then it has a big section on the world of 2033 Mega Tokyo, including character sheets for all the characters from the anime. Not just including the main Night Sabers, but you've got a couple of extras in there too. For anybody that's watched the anime, you've got Leon in there, and you've even got Maki, who is Celia's little brother.
Oh, hello.
Who is he's just this little guy that fixes Priss's bike, who is the lady on the cover of the fucking thing, and he's a bit of a pervert. So if you want to play him,
go for it.
You could be him. I don't know why.
Yeah.
If you want to be the people that wear the fucking amazing armor and fucking fly around shooting people, you can. But if you want to be the guy that fixes the bike and looks at boobs, you can be him. So he's in there.
Calling Station 1. This is ADP 102 calling Station 1. I'm in pursuit of a boomer on Route K5, heading for R51. Subjects are a C-Class boomer and a racing bike.
A racing bike? That must be Pris.
Don't worry about it. I'm sure she's fine. Come on, I'm going to change the station. Yeah, this is more like it.
Let's check it out.
Oh, come on, do we have to?
No, it could be anyone, not just Pris.
Exactly.
That's true. All we can do is wait for her to contact us.
Yeah, so, now you're talking some sense, Lena. Let's just stay here and hang out, man. Come on, Mackie, chuck us one of your dirty mags, mate. I'm going to go to the loos for we all know why I'm going to the loos,
Let's get to why we're all here, right? The awesome cyberpunk dystopian future tech mech suits and shit.
Yes.
First off, in Amane, each member of the Night Sabers is equipped with a hard suit, which is a suit of power armor. Now, we're not talking about the sort of shit that you see in Fallout. This is probably closer to like in Metroid.
Yeah, I know.
So it's like, it is a mech, but it's like extremely tight-fitting and agile. Each one is handmade for the user, and they look really awesome, like a cyborg ninja. In the book, it gives you extensive notes on how these are made, how to board and pilot them, and then it gives you stats and stuff for a bunch of pre-made suits from the anime. These each have their own stats entirely. It's kind of like its own mini character sheet, and it comes armed with weapons and equipment such as laser beams, knuckle bombers, and rocket kicks.
Rocket kick.
It's fucking awesome, man.
That's brilliant.
So, like, basically, it's like a little jet boost on the bottom of your foot, so you can just kick somebody so hard they will go into space. I don't know about that, but
that's brilliant.
And they're also capable of jumping onto tall buildings using sort of jetpack type things on the back. And then you get into the motor slaves, which are fucking wicked, man.
Motor slaves, eh?
They're basically like partner robots that can transform into motorbikes that also have guns.
Yes.
So basically, like
Transformer.
Yeah, exactly. So you'll be riding along on your motorbike, right? And then suddenly you need to start flying, so it will transform into a flying robot that will carry you along and also has a gun in it. And you can sort of sit comfortably inside the robot, and it will start firing its gun, and you can just fly along in it. And then you're like, oh fuck, better get back on the highway. Transforms back,
and you're back on the road.
You're back on the road on a motorbike.
I love that.
It's fucking sick.
That is so cool.
Yeah, they're motor slaves.
Motor slaves, yep.
But don't worry, the name motor slave is only a name. They don't have personalities.
Oh, phew.
Yeah, so it's all right.
No feelings of getting hurt.
No feelings of getting hurt. It's all right.
That's right.
They're not like the boomers.
Gotcha.
There's loads of vehicles too. You got awesome 80s looking high performance interceptor police cars. You know when they were all angular and shit like that? To one-man mini-copters. To gigantic laser-equipped battlesuit mechs that can do 15k damage. Now, I'll explain to you what that means. Basically, whenever you roll a 14 dice or more, it starts calling it 14k damage.
Right.
And I think basically why it measures it like that is because that's when you start getting into the realm of damage that is just beyond what a human should take.
Yeah.
And that's sort of when it's like either superpowers or mechs.
Right.
So you're like, if it's 14,
super fights.
Yeah, if it's 14k damage, that's the sort of thing a minigun, a mech, or a superpower would do. Mm-hmm. So it's sort of that's why.
So you could have these huge city busting fights in mech.
Yep, and that's why it differentiates. When you get to 14 dice, you say roll 14k damage instead of roll 14 dice of damage. Mm-hmm. I don't. It's just. I also think it just feels cool to say it.
Yeah, 'cause
You're
it's
like, holy fuck, he did 15k of damage to me. Like, I don't know. It's
You
just.
squared a city block with that move.
Yeah.
I like it.
The last thing I'm going to say about the main book is that it ends with a system for creating your own mecha, of course, but it doesn't quite end there because there is an expansion to the game. Because the Bubblegum Crisis anime did also have several guidons or side stories, so there was an expansion release that took some material from those, made up some new material, and made material from the side stories playable as well.
Nice.
And then we have Bubblegum Crisis EX, and what I quite liked is that the EX book is annotated with all these symbols that tell you if it was from a side story made up or by the publishing company, or if it was censored from the Japanese version as well. So it's just cool to know, like, if you're into that kind of thing, and which text was just like translated perfectly, or if it was localized, which is really good for you anime nerds out there. If you're reading it and you'll be like, oh, I see they changed this to make it more understandable for an English audience, or this, that, or the other. Additionally, some of the content in that EX book is early concept stuff that didn't even make it into the anime, but it's all statted and playable here, which is really cool.
It's really cool.
So it's even just a read as a fan.
Plays really true to the show, then, doesn't it?
Yeah.
This game.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
So it's just like
Even goes further than the show, really.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So overall, that EX book, the expansion, is just more motorbikes, more AD police equipment, more mechs, and just some other locations outside of Japan, and some more NPCs. So it is well worth it. Overall, I've basically been doing nothing but read these fucking books for like the last fucking week, and I really, really, really enjoy it. If I have one criticism, I will say that there's a distinct lack of equipment that doesn't appear in the anime.
Right.
That is the one criticism I have. The bloke that I bought this from on Facebook said that if you play it, you should pair it with Cyberpunk 2020.
Right, and make it one big world.
Yeah, and sort of because the little things aren't really in here.
Right.
So like, let's say for instance, just buying a mobile phone, for instance, not priced in there.
Yeah.
Little things like that.
Yeah.
So he said, get Cyberpunk 2020 and get the little prices for those things out of there. Alternatively, you can get a feel for the economy in this book and make that sort of little things up yourself.
Yeah.
But he fortunately sent me a PDF of Cyberpunk 2020.
Oh,
I think he might have been a little pirate.
Little pirate.
Just a little pirate.
Little tiny pirate.
So I've got all that stuff now. So that's quite handy. But other than that, I think it's an amazing book. The amount of fleshing out it does to the world, and the creativity with all the
artwork's brilliant.
It is.
Yeah, really good.
And the equipment it does give you is amazing. And I've watched half of the anime now, and I think it is fucking brilliant. So yeah, give it a watch. Really, really good. Very, very 80s. It's both, but the dub is awful.
Oh, really?
It's really bad.
Yeah, okay.
Especially because it's got a lot of 80s type music in there, because it's like an 80s futuristic thing.
Type, yeah.
And the English lyrics are amazing in the Japanese version.
Okay, fair enough.
Because, they're pretty funny. So I would check that out. And this game looks like a really, really fun one to play. So I can't wait to get my
I'm looking forward to this.
anus around it.
Oh, lovely. The world is full of mysteries. It's up to your group of intrepid teen sleuths to solve them. In Bubblegum Shoe, players step into the shoes of high schoolers solving mysteries in a modern American small town. Discover clues, solve problems, and throw down with enemies in this streamlined RPG based on the Gumshoe system. So yeah, basically, Bubblegum Shoe. Ever wanted to play a teen detective sleuth a la Scooby-Doo?
You know it, girlfriend.
Well, this is what you need then. You need to get your hands on Bubblegum Shoe. It's a great little book. It's, as I said, it uses the Gumshoe system, which is a very well-known system. You know about the Gumshoe system?
I don't actually that much.
Well, let me tell you about the Gumshoe system, mate. The Gumshoe system is a very rules-light game that only uses a single-sided dice. Where you roll against the difficulty to succeed. So basically, it's a pool system. So you will have a set amount of points to spend in.
So you have to be in a pool.
You have to be in a pool when you're playing.
Right.
No, it's so you spend points at the beginning when you create your character, and you spend points in certain skills that you have. Now, what you do is, if you're rolling an agility check, you will roll a d6, but you can spend points in your agility to add to that roll to make the roll better. So say you're looking for a 4 and you spend 2 points in your agility and you roll and you get a 2. Obviously you add 2, you get the 4, you've made it. Simple as that. Quite straightforward. Now the other side of it is if you've got specialised skills, you basically get them straight away. So if you're looking for a clue and you've got a skill saying, I don't know, library use, and you're looking for a clue in a library, you will get that. You'll get that clue. If you spend points in it, you'll get the clue bit better, like. So depending on how many players are in your group determines how many points you will get to spend, which is quite interesting. So if you're playing in a group of 4, it will say each character has 27 points to spend per character or whatever. And if you've got a smaller group, I think you have less points. Now, what you do is you also have to spend points in relationships. So not only do you just have your skills and that, you also have to. It's the same as a bit like Bubblegum Shoe, really.
I think he meant Bubblegum Crisis.
It does focus on making the character more rounded by giving them relationships, whether they be positive or negative, people that don't like them. And bear in mind, we're at high school, so reputation's a big thing, all that kind of stuff. So it takes that into account. It really drives home the kind of teen high school kind of feeling.
Yeah, I can see that you've got, like, for the academic abilities, you've got fashion.
Yep.
Photography, pop culture, town law.
Yep.
And interpersonal abilities, you've got bullshit detector, flirting, grown-up face.
Grown-up
General
face.
abilities, preparedness, sneaking, throwdown.
Throwdown, yeah.
Cool.
I'll talk about throwdown in a minute. Right, actually, for good job you mentioned cool, because that's what we're going to move on to. So cool is basically your hit points. So no one dies in Bubblegum Shoe. I mean, it's teenagers at school. I suppose you could make them die if you wanted to. It's up to you.
You could if you wanted to change it up.
Yeah, of course you can. You can do anything. It's an RPG. But the way the book's written is that you lose cool points if you are rather than hit points. If you lose all your cool, you turn into a blubbering mess in the corner. Everyone's laughing at and making fun out of.
Because that's like social death.
Exactly. Social death through losing coolness.
That's what you don't want. Not at school.
You don't want that at school, mate. You definitely don't want that at school.
I know, for me, if anything, I was in school, I was a big hit.
Yep.
I was king of the cool. And if I lost my cool, that would have been the end for me.
Your BMX gang would have just
they would have rejected me, mate. I would have if I'd have lost my cool, I would have no longer been the king of my BMX gang.
Exactly.
They would have taken my crown.
They would have
which to be honest was an impractical headwear for a BMX.
They would have taken your trick nuts so you could give no one else a
Do you know what my nickname was back in the BMX days?
Go on.
King Radical.
Fuck off.
I ride a motherfucking BMX, bitch. I do it every day, scratch that BMX itch. I ride it through the mall, everyone's like, who's he? I'm just a motherfucker doing motherfucking wheelies. Oh yeah, King Radical, he's got a crown. King Radical.
So in the book you'll find loads of information and rules on how to create interpersonal relationships for your sleuth, for all different people in the world. And also you get the most out of the gumshoe system by doing things like that. You've got settings in there. You've got.
So there's a setting in here called Drewsbury, right?
Drewsbury, yes. Sample Town, yeah.
The sample town is Drewsbury. We've included some locations, NPCs, and mysteries for your group to use as jumping off points if you'd like. Drewsbury is a homage to that iconic teen sleuth Nancy Drew. Oh, I see. That's why it's called Drewsbury.
Drewsbury, yeah, exactly.
I get it.
I think there's like 5 towns or settings that you can use. It's quite a sandboxy book, which is nice.
That's pretty cool.
And then combat-wise, basically, you have things called throwdowns.
So it's time to throw down.
It's time to throw it down, whether that be throwing down fists or throwing down
words.
Sick burns. Yeah.
So you could have sort of a Shakespearean battle.
You absolutely can.
So somebody comes up to you, you start arm wrestling, and then you come
out of a whippy quip,
and then suddenly their arm's going down.
Oh,
and
exactly. Well, this is exactly it, and this is what it kind of focuses on, things like this.
You fight like a cow.
Not quite. Throwdowns are like high stakes social combats, if you like, which play out in a head to head fashion, as would most contests. You could have a rap battle, you could have a dance off, you could have anything in high school, any of that crap shit you did at school, you can do, and it's called a throwdown.
So we could essentially do 8 Mile, but with kids doing it, and they're really shit at rapping.
Yep.
Absolutely. So they walk up to somebody and be like, you wear a blue shirt, and you eat dirt. Don't get out of here before you get hurt. Yeah! And everyone's like, oh, sick.
Yeah, that's a throwdown. So players will normally spend points from their interpersonal or relationship pools to try and increase their chance of success in a throwdown. So again, you can spend points. So if you've got loads of points in, I don't know, say
Filch.
having a filching contest.
You're doing a panty raid competition, right?
Yeah.
2 kids are standing outside. All their mates are daring them. They're like,
Yeah.
bet you can't go in there and get old.
You ain't getting 10 panties, man.
I could get 10 panties. I'll get 11.
Watch me.
And then you both roll Filch.
That's a throwdown, yeah.
That's a Filch down.
That's a good old fashioned filch down. Yeah, so you can spend points to add to your chances of success. Once one side is reduced to 0 cool or less,
They die.
they need to succeed a cool test in order to even remain in the throwdown. So you've got to check your cool. If your cool goes down to 0 or negative, you then basically got to throw for that cool, and if you fail that, you add there. You're the laughing stock. So it's all about reputation. It's all about rep.
That's brilliant. What do you think of the actual book itself?
The book, the art's lovely. It's all kind of, I don't know, like hand sketched, kind of black and white
Vector drawings.
Yeah, exactly. Really well done, I think.
I quite like it. I mean, my one criticism of it is that it looks like a teen book.
Yeah.
And the thing is, as much as I think I look at it and I go, this is great. Like, it looks like the sort of shit I used to read when I was a teenager. To an extent, it looks like a teen book for teens.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
As opposed to a book to be played by adults to remember what it was like to be a teen, play something that reminds them of the shit they read when they were teens. I think this is an all ages book that could be fun for any age, but when you look at it, it looks like
it down a little bit.
Yeah, even though it's genius, like it's such a well drawn cover that captures that amazingly. Yep. But I think it could easily be mistaken for a game that's for teenagers as opposed to about them.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally agree with that.
And I think that's one criticism. So I think even like small children could play this and be like, oh cool, I get to be a teenager.
Absolutely, yeah, exactly.
And adults could play this and be like, oh, that's hilarious, I get to be a teenager. Whereas teenagers could play this and just be like, cool,
I'm just playing me.
I get to be me. Oh, great. I hate being me already.
I hate myself.
Yeah.
This book just gets thrown.
How do I cut myself in game? I'm gonna roll throwdown on myself.
Where's the old man book? I want to play that.
Can I go with my BMX gang now?
I hate you.
Even my dad in the game hates me.
The only thing is, I played using the gumshoe system once, and I played another game by Kenneth Haidt, who also wrote this.
Yeah.
Or helped write this, I guess, which was Trade of Cthulhu. And I remember it working kind of similarly, and I really, really enjoyed it.
It was good game, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, and it is precisely for the investigation kind of shit. And it's like it says a teen detective story game, and it kind of is a collaborative storytelling experience, less so an RPG game.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Do you know what I mean? Not less focused on the game, more on the storytelling experience.
Exactly, yeah. I think Gumshoe's really geared up well for that.
Yeah.
So they've got a preparedness skill in there, which is quite a nice little mechanic. It allows you to be prepared, basically. So you could say, have I got an extra flashlight in my bag? You'd rolled your preparedness, and if you score, you'd be like, yeah, you did.
Well, I like that. I mean, I used that again in Trail of Cthulhu when we played that, and I remember I used it to have a gun in my bag.
Yeah.
Because we were like, I was like, well, I always packed something useful for the situation.
You always pack a
and
bit
it's like,
of heat.
it does seem a bit meta and a bit cheaty, but to an extent, it's like that.
It's like your brother loves acid.
Yeah.
He loves a bottle of acid, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, and it could be. It's kind of like in a movie where you could even be smug about it, and then all the kids hate you.
Yeah.
Because you could be like, well, I told you we'd need a flashlight, and that's why I've got one now. And everyone's like, well, you didn't say it earlier, and you're like, well, fuck you.
Throwdown.
Yeah, it's throwdown time, and then you start a dance off, and it's like, but hang on, guys, the murderer's right here, and it's like, shut up, we're having a dance off.
Yeah, my image is way more important than this, solving this mystery. I like all the settings. There's some crazy settings in there as well. So you've got Bel Air Falls, which is the setting for magic and horror. It's more of like a Call of Cthulhu type thing with sanity
fuck?
checks and that. Yep.
I thought this was all about stolen bikes and a missing
it's
whistle
all,
and...
There's loads to it. No, you've got Danver Heights, which is for the fans of Smallville, stuff like that. It's about teenage
nice.
heroes coming of age. You've got Diamond City, which is set in a dystopian near future where the group...
this is like Bubblegum Crisis. We've linked it together.
We've done it.
It works.
Is evil or corrupt? You've got Kimball Middle School, which is a named location in Drewsbury where your teen characters' younger siblings might go to school. So you've got preschool, so you can play as
Go in there and start kicking some ass.
teeny kids. Yeah, what would be a throwdown if you were playing like an 8-year-old?
I don't know, mate. I'm trying to think of fights I had when I was a kid.
When you was 8.
Oh, yeah, but like I mean, with my brother and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's true. You got Kingsfield Academy, which is like a really high achieving prep school.
Fucking preps.
So you might characters might solve mysteries about their fellow students in high state world of getting the best grades. So it's a bit poncy, that one.
Oh, mate, that would be so funny.
You got Ruby Hollow, which is it's like Crystal Cove. So it's like Scooby Doo type, or Buffy the Vampire type.
But then you always find out the villain's just some guy in a mask.
Some guy, yeah.
It's like some disgruntled sort of like
janitor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I told them that they should have paid me, otherwise I wouldn't have done all this elaborate shit using up the last of my money, which was kind of a stupid idea when now thinking about it. But
I got the last laugh.
But I kind of didn't, because these kids have foiled me now.
I'm going to jail, but hey, I got to wear this neat mask.
Well, bye.
Anyway, see ya. You got Strange Hill Scout Troop 221, which is pretty much going out on a scouting adventure.
Nice.
You can get bad merit badges.
And you're getting a throwdown with a bear, but because this game doesn't have like actual fights, the bear just disses you. He's like, he's like, did he just call me a cunt?
Yeah,
You're
no,
like,
you can have a fight with a bear. You can fight with a bear, and this is the most crazy one: Veronica Base.
Whoa, we talking aliens?
We're talking Mars, mate.
Yes.
Yeah, they've got a setting for Mars, so you could be the first colony on Mars in your little Mars
And it's all
school.
teenagers.
See, yeah, exactly. Fucking solving mysteries about Martians. So there's everything there, I think.
Do you not think that when we go to Mars, we should maybe send some scientists?
No.
No. So is this anything to do with the fact that you're retiring tomorrow? No.
It's got anything to do with your alcoholic problem.
No.
Send the children.
Send the teenagers.
They show us. They're our future and all that shit.
But they should have some degree of scientific knowledge. Nope. They'll learn on the job. Send them right away.
Learn as you go. That's what I did.
Right, well, goodbye. Launch.
Fucking press the red button. So it's a self-contained game, but it's got loads of mileage in it. I think it's there's something in there for absolutely everybody. And they think, oh, I don't want to play teenagers. It's going to be a bit awkward. Change it up.
Don't fuck it. No, yeah.
Play 8-year-olds on Mars.
Yeah, but you know what? If you don't want to play teenagers, don't buy this game. That's what this is for. This is because it's like a storytelling experience. It's mainly full of information with how to play this game.
Exactly.
And so I would say if you don't want to play as teenagers, get Trail of Cthulhu or something like that, and fuck off, because this ain't for you, bro.
This is for playing teenagers. This is for everybody who wants to play. And this is nostalgia
in a book.
In a book, mate. It really is.
And I think personally, you should you should get behind it. And if you think it's going to be awkward playing a kid, that's the fun of it.
Yeah.
It is you and your mates getting a bit awkward and it being a laugh.
Yeah,
like trying to watch your mates try and flounder about, just being like, hey, mister, and I don't know.
You're trying to go buy some beers or something on a Friday, you know what I mean, on a Friday night, or there's some kind of party that when the parents have gone away on holiday and
like some of the simple,
someone gets killed. No, but yeah.
But the simple puzzles that you take for granted because you're an adult usually, like you said, like the simple things like when often in RPGs where you need to go and buy a box of matches or a lighter or a length of rope or a knife because you need it for combat or whatever.
Or you just either steal it because you're pretty tough, or you could buy it, like you said. Yeah, when you're a snotty-nosed teenager, mate, you can't even get a blade.
Yeah, you need to ask an adult to get it for you. And you go up to your dad and you're like having to use your fucking social skills to try and convince him to go and buy you a knife, some matches, a length of rope.
You could have a whole side quest just to get a half-decent, dodgy ID.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. I mean, there's so much fun to be had in this.
You can inject creepiness into it. You can inject good old fashioned mystery to it. Just trying to survive as a teenager at school. You know, all the normal things that kids have to go through. Plus mystery and investigation. It's for me, it's brilliant. It's everything's in the book. Goes deep into GM advice. Gives you all the things about relationships, and it helps you as well. So if you got
I was a teenager so long ago I can't remember.
read the book. There's loads of stuff in there. There's
Read the book. Be a teenager again.
Be a teenager again. There's pre-done adventures. There's everything. There's clues. There's NPCs at the back. There's player characters at the back.
There's tools coming out the wazoo, ladies and gentlemen.
Absolutely everywhere. Supporting cast checklist. It's a lot of tools to the GM. I like crushing it. Crushing it. Crushing it to get a half decent dodgy ID. Crushing it. There's NPCs at the back. There's crushing it. Be a teenager again. Crushing it. Not only can you be throwing it down, you can be crushing it, mate. Crushing it.
Crushing it.
He's absolutely crushing it.
So this also is quite cheap as well, as far as I recall.
Yeah, I think
20
we
quid.
paid about 20 quid for it.
I think I got it for 20 quid.
Yeah, I think so. About 18,
So it's 25 bucks US dollars.
Yeah, so about £20. It's a nice little A5 size hardback.
Yeah, man.
It's made by Evil Hat Productions, who also make Fake Core in it. So that's Bubblegum Shoe for you.
Yeah. And if you also wanted to buy the other one, Bubblegum Crisis, you shit out of luck, really.
Yeah, mate, you're in big trouble.
But I don't know if there's anywhere that you can get it for a PDF online or anything like that. I'm sure there are places. It's hard to find, if I'm being honest with you.
You got to go obscure for these ones, didn't you? I mean, we managed to get. I think that we managed to get the second book from Oxfam,
and the first one I found it. Sorry, that's really bad. And the first one I found on Facebook buying and selling group. So if you can get your hands on it, I would highly recommend it.
It just takes a bit of a commitment. If there's an out of print book, you will be able to get your hands on it. You've just got to be persistent and not get the hump.
I will say I've seen it on. You can get it on Amazon fairly easily, just not at a good price. I mean, I picked up that one for 20 quid.
The add-on was a tenner, mate.
It was a tenner. So yeah, the thing is, I don't know, man. If it's worth a buy, and I would say that I haven't played it yet. I've just read it, and I think it looks amazing. But to me, it looks worth a play.
Oh, absolutely! I think it's our next. It's actually been earmarked for our next campaign.
Yeah, that's. I'm definitely gonna get on that because.
But you're gonna go for an all-encompassing game, including Cyberpunk 2020, yeah?
It's gonna be set in the world of Bubblegum Crisis, but I'm gonna for like the general stores and things like that. I'm gonna use the Cyberpunk 2020 gear.
Yeah.
Just so that I don't have to sit there and fucking write out the cost of a mobile phone and all of this shit myself. Yeah. But the thing is, yeah, I'd highly recommend that, and if you can get a copy of it, do, because it looks fucking awesome.
Yep.
And with Bubblegum Shoe, check it out. I love the fact that we're talking about these two completely different games here.
Two polar opposites.
Yeah.
But I think Bubblegum Shoe came out like last year, so you can get it everywhere. It's we picked it up from our friendly local
I think you can get it on the Evil Hat Productions website.
Yeah.
You can get it on Drive Through RPG.
It's definitely at Leisure Games.
It's at Leisure Games in London if you're about there. I mean, that's quite specific.
Yeah, Bubblegum Shoe easy, Bubblegum Crisis not so easy. Both brilliant.
But watch the anime of Bubblegum Crisis if you can, because it is a cracking anime. But that's about wraps up for the main subject.
That was our bubblicious main subject.
Battle of the Bubblegums. If you guys want to pick up either of those games, then do. Which one do you think's the winner?
Oh, do you know what?
Actually, it's for the fans to decide.
Yeah, it's not for us. We just present it to our listeners, and they tell us what one they want to play. Tell us what one you want to play first. Not that one you hate or one you like or whatever. You might like them both, but tell us, if we was to lay the two books in front of you, which one would you pick up first to play?
Yes. Yeah, good idea.
Answers on the back of a postcard.
Yeah, just comment on the post that you see this episode on if you can, or if you just listen in the feed. Don't
or if
bother.
you have played either of these games, please do let us know.
Yeah, please do.
We'd love to hear how they play.
Yeah, and that's the main subject. Thank you very much for listening. There's much more left to the episode. I don't know why I'm saying that. See you in a bit.
Bye.
Welcome to the Chamber of Challenges. Chamber of Challenges. The Chamber of Challenges. Chamber of Challenges. The Chamber of Challenges.
Welcome, children, to the Chamber of Challenges, and today we're bringing back a classic. it is time for the shitty Internet Thesaurus game.
Woohoo! It's been a long time.
Yeah, so what I've done is I've taken some names of popular RPGs and I've put them through an Internet Thesaurus. And you have to guess what the RPGs are. Okay, so first one, and bear in mind these thesauruses are terrible.
Okay.
Ball game catastrophe.
Ball game catastrophe. Bubblegum crisis.
Yeah. So apparently Bubblegum, the thesaurus, thinks it's ball game.
I don't know. I didn't get the ball game bit, but crisis and catastrophe.
Yeah.
They're the two I got.
Ball
together.
game. What the fuck?
What the hell?
It doesn't make any sense.
Bubblegum, ball game. What? Maybe it's an American thing.
Hey, you want to go for a bubblegum?
Want a bubblegum ball game?
I've never heard that in my life.
Racist. Stop that.
Yeah. So next one, be welcome, boot.
That's like a statement.
Be welcome, boot.
Be welcome, boot.
Yeah.
Oh God. Oh, bubblegum shoe.
Yeah. So apparently the second one down for bubblegum was be welcome,
boot.
So when somebody comes into your house, just say bubblegum. Because apparently it means be welcome.
And then you just call them boot.
Fucking shitty website, mate.
It's really bad.
I know, it's really bad.
Next one.
Okay, next one is Earth of Blackness.
Earth of Blackness. Solar Eclipse? No.
Yeah, that popular RPG, Solar Eclipse.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, why did you say it?
No idea. What is it again? Earth Blackness?
Earth of Blackness.
Earth of Blackness. I have no idea. Go on.
You have to have a guess.
Oh, shit. Earth of Blackness.
No, you don't have to have a guess. You can pass.
I'm going to come back to that one. So what's the next one?
Foreigners versus Bumpkins.
Aliens versus Rednecks.
Yes, correct. Nailed it, mate. Available now from Drive Thru RPG. Next one is Barbaric Cosmos.
Is it something universe?
I don't know, is it?
Oh, Barbaric Cosmos.
I would play that though.
Yeah,
it's a good name.
That's a good enough name by itself. I don't know. You have to pass that one.
All right, so we'll go back to Earth of Blackness. You pass in that one.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, that one is World of Darkness.
Oh shit! Of course. Yeah.
Barbaric Cosmos.
Yeah, go on.
Savage Worlds. I don't know why. Okay, well, I suppose Worlds. I don't know.
Oh, bad thesaurus.
Yeah, bad thesaurus. And the last one is Raiders of the Catalonian Prime.
Raiders of the Catalonian Prime. Oh, jeebus. No, mate, no idea. Go on.
You're not very good at this, man.
I started off alright.
I know, what a ball game catastrophe this has been. But this is that Raiders of the Catalonian Prime was, of course, Pirates of the Spanish Main.
Everyone knows that.
What? That was an easy one, man.
Raiders,
I thought.
Pirates. Yeah, alright, fair enough.
Catalonian Spanish.
Yeah. Bollocks.
Fuck.
That was good though. Thanks, mate.
That's all right. Be welcome, boot.
Be welcome, boot.
My name's Alan Rickman, and I'm no wait.
My name's also Alan Rickman.
No, I'm the real Alan Rickman.
No, wait, I'm Alan Rickman. But I'm not. No, wait.
No, what? No, I'm Alan Rickman.
No, shush. I'm TableTopTwats.
Listeners of the show will know that last week
was a very special week.
Indeed, because we got our Patreon back. Woohoo! From the Patreon Highwayman.
Yes.
Shut up.
Shush you.
Yeah, we kidnapped him. We got him back here.
We took Ryan Reeves, the horse, as well.
We took his horse, Ryan Reeves, and yeah, we've got him now. He's here. And basically, we love him very much. Not the Highwayman. We just kick him from time to time. Yeah, so we've got a pet horse.
We've got a pet horse. We've got our Patreon back. All things are good. We've dropped a few Patreon bonuses now.
And I've been doing a little shopping on the black market. And I've got a little explosive collar which I've put on the Patreon Highwayman. And if he takes one step out of line, boom! Off goes the head.
It's a bubblegum catastrophe. Stop whinging.
God, it's getting annoying.
Anyway, sobered up now. That's why he's got the right arm.
I know, it's ridiculous. It's just annoying. So shut up. So basically, we've captured the Highwayman. We've got our own horse. We've got the Patreon back, and so we wanted to say a big thank you to everyone who donates on the Patreon.
Thanks for sticking with us.
Thanks for sticking with us, and thank you so much for the donations, because without you, this show would not be possible. It would certainly not be what it is today, because with your donations, what allows us to pay for the hosting fees, and that allows us to upload basically with the frequency that we do. It allows us to upload a certain amount of stuff, and that means the amount of bonus content, the amount of content that we're allowed to put out is all thanks to you. And additionally, it means that we were able to purchase the Testament role-playing game that we purchased last week and and covered it, which was great fun, and we're super, super grateful for that.
All down to our lovely supporters.
Now, we just wanted to get an on-air apology from Highwayman, so come here. I just want to say that I'm not sorry. Right, shut I'm sorry for everything that I done. I didn't mean to take the Patreon. Well, I sort of did. Right, that's enough.
Get back get under your stairs.
Okay, well, that's enough of him. Anyway, so things are looking up, really. Oh, no. Oh, God.
You've jinxed it now.
No, we shouldn't have said anything. Come in. Yar.
Hey!
Oh, no.
So many bloody Partario, isn't it?
The PDF pirate.
What are you doing here?
Well, I wanted to tell you boys about something.
Oh, here we go. Now what?
Oh, he's going to tell us, oh, yeah, you're the PDF pirate.
What dodgy torrent have you found now?
Yeah, pirate this PDF, blah, blah, blah. Well, actually, no, because you're wrong about me on so many levels.
Really?
What do you mean we're wrong about you? Every time you come in here, you tell us that you're pirating some PDFs.
Why would you pay for it when you can get it for free, and you're always banging on about international
Well,
and all that?
No, that's where you're wrong, Nick. Because I'm going legit.
What?
No more pirating for me. Well, I'm still going to be looting villages and pillaging and raping and stuff like that.
Oh, right, yeah.
But as for pirating RPGs, no more of that. I'm supporting the industry, mate.
You're going straight.
Yar, I certainly am.
Good for you.
I was just inviting you guys to a party I'm having on my boat in 2 weeks' time. But if you don't want to come, that's fine. I'll just leave.
Whoa.
Wait.
Boat party?
We like a boat party.
Free booze?
Aye, plenty.
Hey,
we're
sign me
in,
up,
mate.
Yeah.
Yep, sign me up. I am well up for that.
Yes, mate.
2 weeks' time, you say? Yeah, that's right. There's going to be all the booze you can drink. We got seafood coming out the ass. And we've got lots of, how do you say, sexy people.
Ooh.
And there's going to be strippers, Nick.
Hey.
Men and women. Okay, sounds good to me. How would we find you? Where's the boat going to be?
Yeah.
Well, we're going to be docked at Brighton in the harbour. So you just need to get the train up there and get on. The dress code is going to be pirate themed. Well, that's a bit obvious, isn't it, Partario? Look, do you always have to be so fucking rude?
Yeah, he does.
Sorry. Look, I want to come to the party.
No, yeah.
I want to come to the party.
Don't blow it now. No, what he's trying to say is, we would love to be there.
Well, alright, here's your invitations.
Ooh, a bit of parchment, nice.
Yeah, well, you know, I like to try.
Did you tea stain this yourself to make it look a bit like a treasure map?
Shut up.
I'm not judging, it's very good.
No, I went to a craft store and Look, shut up. I'll see you in 2 weeks at the party, alright?
See you there, buddy.
See you later, mate. Alright.
Sweet.
Well, that was weird.
It was a bit weird, but there you go.
Party on a pirate ship.
Boat bloody party, can't argue with that.
That's gonna be sick. I can't believe he's going legit.
No, neither can I, mate.
And plus, we're gonna turn up with our own personal slave.
Yeah, that's gonna go down well.
We're gonna be the belle of the ball at a pirate ship party,
Belle of the ball
mate.
at a pirate ship party. Yeah, can't wait.
Should we go on the horse?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
All right,
I'll
cool.
Go shopping. Cool.
Welcome to the summoning circle. Welcome to the summoning circle. Thank you. We've been the fuckheads. You've been great. Have a good night.
as you guys know, there are lots of celebrities out there that like to play RPGs, and we tried to get them on the show, but Robert De Niro's busy, Leonardo DiCaprio's a deviant and a monster. We can't get any of them on it.
No,
we can't.
No, we ask, we talk to agents, the agents palm us off. Next thing we know, we get restraining order put out against us. It's just silly.
And we've tried digging up the corpses of dead celebrities and reanimating them, but it won't work.
And they just stink.
So we are going to use the powers of black magic to summon the celebrity dead ghosts from hell or heaven and have them talk to us about RPGs, because we know a lot of them are into RPGs. And we asked you guys out there on the internet lands as to which celebrities who are into RPGs you would like to see us resurrect and talk to today.
Yep, summon them from the afterlife.
Exactly. So I'm going to summon somebody. I just want to point out, though, when I do the spell, it is hard for me to maintain the spell, and I will not be able to talk while I do so.
Sure.
So it's very hard for me. But we had some great suggestions this time. Let's kick it off, Nick.
Well, Bill Lear asked for Cilla Black.
Manuel Sams asked for Sigmund Freud.
Terry Hansen asked for H.G. Wells.
And our sort of favourite came in from Richard Woolcock, who said Bruce Lee.
Oh, yes.
My suggestion would be to summon Bruce Lee and ask his views about combat systems in RPGs, particularly in regard to martial arts.
So we're going to do it.
Yeah, we're going to summon Bruce Lee. I mean, I was a big fan of his movies when I was a kid, so it's a shame I won't be able to get to talk to him.
But you can listen to the pod after.
I will listen to the podcast when it's edited afterwards.
For once.
Yeah. So
okay.
I'm gonna summon him now. Just give me a bit of peace and quiet, Nick.
Let me light this candle.
Yep. Okay. Light the candle. Right. Sacrifice the
chicken McFillet burger.
Yep. Okay. Cut that in half.
Yep. That's it.
Oh God! It always gets me, that one.
Incantation. Don't forget.
Right. Here we go.
Martial arts, why go and
I think it worked.
Oh, where am I?
You are in Red Hill, mate.
This is not heaven.
No, we've kind of borrowed you. Mr. Bruce Lee? Is it who I'm speaking to?
Yes, my name is Bruce Lee.
Amazing. Well, first of all, I'd just like to say it's an absolute pleasure to meet you, mate.
What is the purpose of this summoning?
Well, we know you're a big fan of RPGs.
Apart from martial arts, RPGs is the only other thing I ever dedicated much of my life to. It is in my book, Bruce Lee, RPG Boss.
Smashing.
It is not one of my bestsellers.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll make sure I'll get my hands on that at some point. So
available Waterstone, $7.99.
Oh, there you go. Brilliant. I'll check that out. I hope we haven't inconvenienced you too much.
Well, actually, yes, you have.
Oh, well.
I was training.
Okay. Understandable. Well, I really apologise about that, but we'd really like to get you on.
Nick, you have greatly pissed me off.
I did it. Well, if I'm completely honest with you, it wasn't my idea to summon you.
Okay, whose idea was it?
A guy called Richard Woolcock.
I will find him, and I will kill him.
Okay. Rich, if you hear that, mate, you better run. Anyway, Bruce, while I've got you here, I was just wondering if you could ask...
Please.
Yep.
Call me Mr. Lee.
Sorry, Mr. Lee.
No. Call me Mr. Lee.
Mr. Lee.
Get on with the interview, Nick.
Yeah.
I have little time and little patience. I was in the middle of a game.
Oh, really? What game?
Battletech RPG.
Oh, wow.
It is one of my favorites.
Yeah?
It combines everything I like about robots and futuristic sci-fi genre.
Very nice. Well,
which I try to put in all of my movies.
Yep.
But actually, production company get in way.
Ah, okay. Big. Right. Okay. Well,
I always say I hate martial arts. I want more robots. And they say, put more martial arts.
well, that sucks, mate. Well, what I really want to know, what everybody wants to know, is what are your views about combat systems in RPGs, particularly in regards to your favourite martial arts?
This, Nick, is a shitty question. Ask a more intelligent question.
Okay. What's your favourite colour? Ice cream?
No. This will not do.
Okay.
No, more intelligent.
Why are you looking at me like that?
No, more intelligent, better RPG question.
Okay. If you had to play one RPG for the put your leg down. If you had to play one RPG for the rest of your life, what would it be?
It would probably be an RPG I wrote myself.
Okay, yeah, understandable.
It is called Bruce Lee Wicked Kicks.
Bruce Lee Wicked Kicks RPG.
Why are you laughing?
I'm not. No. I was. Whoa! Put your arms.
Nick.
Why are you?
No, because you laugh at my RPG.
No, I didn't laugh. Whoa!
No, you piss me off greatly.
No,
Nick.
I'm sorry, Mr. Lee.
You have played Bruce Lee Wicked Kicks, of course.
Of course, I've.
All right, okay. What sort of dice system it use if you're such an expert on Bruce Lee Wicked Kicks?
It's D6 based.
You have not played Bruce Lee Wicked Kicks.
It might.
Nick, get up.
Oh, what happened?
Fight me like a man.
Who? What?
Get up, Nick.
Oh, why are we fighting?
Get up. You're a pussy bitch boy. This is worst interview ever.
I think my nose is broken. Oh.
Nick,
anyway.
Wait.
Yeah.
How many fingers am I holding up?
2. Oh. Why are you hurting me so much?
Because you have not played Bruce Lee Wicked Kicks, and you say you are RPG fan.
Yes.
You suck at interview. You ask a shitty question.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more. No.
Goodbye, Nick.
Yeah. Thanks, Bruce.
Bruce Lee, away.
Oh,
Jesus. Nick, what the fuck?
I know.
What happened to you, man?
Don't ask. Oh my god. I think he's broke my nose.
Nick,
have you ever heard of Bruce Lee's Wicked Kicks RPG?
What the fuck?
Well, no, neither have I. And I got my ass kicked for it.
Oh man, I'm so sorry.
Oh mate, that hurt.
You look like a slab of beef that's been treated badly.
I think we better cut the pod short. I might need to ring the ambulance.
But we do have to finish the podcast.
All
I mean,
right,
I've got to be honest with you. I mean, you do. We'll get you an ambulance eventually.
Oh, all right. Well, get me some tissue then. Let's just soldier.
No, I mean, well, it does cost money, Nick.
Okay, I'm just gonna bleed on.
Just wipe your nose on the highwayman. No,
come here, you.
No.
In the future, you will be able to send a letter from anywhere on the planet. This is the future. This is the Electro Letter.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are on to the Electro Letters.
Yay!
And this is, well, I mean, it's hard to explain, really, but I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to try and summarise it now. It's where we read your mail.
Yeah.
And we answer your questions. So, the first question comes in from bloody Matthew Jones. And what has he got to say, Nick?
He says, "Dearest twats of the tabletop, after years of searching ancient ruins, derelict space stations, and forbidden forests, I can truly say true adventure can only be found in the mundane. Oftentimes, the greatest memories of gaming come from innocuous moments that I, the GM, might say innocently or offhandedly. Is there a time that has happened to you, the twats of the tabletop, in your adventures?" So, yeah, what's he saying? When the mundane happens?
Yeah, like you know when something mundane just is like the thing that you remember the most.
Oh, mate, all the time. We have sessions where nothing really gets done, but they're some of the greatest sessions we've had.
You know, one of my standout memories from recently was when you guys inherited a club in Vampire. That is quite a big thing, but was when you were just talking to the one and only staff member, and it was just a conversation, and it was basically the character Reggie, who's really rich, went up to him and went, "You know, you do a good job. Have $200 extra a night." And then I think he realised what he did, and then the guy was just like, $200 extra a night. Wow, thanks, man. Yeah. That's amazing. And he went, "You know, you're a little bit too excitable for me. You're fired." and then the bloke went, "What? You can't do that, you motherfucker." And he's like, "Don't you dare speak to me like that. You ever want your job back? You should watch your mouth." And he went, "Okay, I'm sorry." And he's like, "Fine, you can have your job back, but I'm taking that extra £200 off." And it was like it was just this whole. It went on for a lot longer than that, but it was like I don't know, like these little conversations. I'm certain that there's like shit like that happens all the time.
We done with the GURP session when we was pimping the ship. and we just spent a whole session just talking about what we wanted in the ship and getting the materials for
You know, that was especially good because that wasn't even... There was almost nothing gameplay affecting about that.
Yeah.
I mean, there were little bits, but it was sort of like, basically, they wanted to deck out the inside of the ship to look like a pirate ship.
Yeah.
So they were like, okay, we want wood-panelled interior.
Yeah.
We want the floor to have lino on it.
We want
like
a tyre
wood.
swing in the rec room for Dr. Johnson, the gorilla.
Yeah, we want a TV. We want a bar that's fully stocked.
Panelling. Yeah.
And it was like, even like those little bits, right? So it would be like kind of little bits like, do we want a TV though in the rec room? And then all the party would be like, yeah, of course we want a TV. Like, what if we're on a mission and we're going somewhere and we want to watch TV?
Yeah.
It's like, would we ever really role play us playing TV, watching TV? No, but
it's good to have. And also, you know, if there's if breaking news happens and you've got TV in the ship, and let's say you've done something and you've been framed for murder, it comes
okay,
up
I suppose. But you did have the computer, so
we had the old Mac, didn't we? The Apple Mac that we did. Yeah, but no, there is loads of times when we.
I think that it was funny. Like that was an example of just something mundane, but it's something that you'll always remember. And I think this happens to us all the time.
Some of the most fun you can have.
I think Vampire the Masquerade's a great one for that because it is quite heavy on the role play.
Absolutely, yeah.
And we've had some great moments throughout Vampire. But yeah, one of my favourites is when they inherited the club. They interviewed a new manager that they got. And the interview was just fucking hilarious with them just like asking him questions like, have you ever run a club before? Have you ever arranged a party? And this guy was just an arrogant prick. And I don't know, it's just...
We've done job interviews before. Do you remember when we threw the apple?
Oh yeah, they did job interviews in Pathfinder for hiring new party members. Yeah. So I mean, it's such shit like that. It's just so much fun, and it is the stuff that you'll remember because I think that's when role playing gets encouraged, and that's when people say the stupidest shit. Because as far as people do stupid shit in RPGs that they would never do, like, oh, you would never risk your life like that in real life. You'd never do that in real life. Yeah. And people also say shit that they would never say in real life.
Exactly. That's part of the fun, mate.
I mean, I know he's asking like when mundane shit has sort of become an adventure, but this is sort of like mundane shit that you'll always remember because it's just wacky.
And it's fun. Yeah, absolutely. And lastly, and probably most importantly, if one day in real life you were walking down the street and someone dressed like Doctor Strange handed you a sword and yelled urgently for you to hurry and come defend the sanctuary, would you follow them? Of course.
Well, I read this question earlier actually, and I had a little story based around this. But once there was this guy that used to hang around our town called Russell, right? And I'll just say his name because it's only his first name. But he was called Russell, and he just used to hang around the town all the time. And I think I just finished reading the book The Yes Man that just said to say yes to all things. And when I saw him hanging around the town once, and I used to always avoid him, and he just used to hang around the town and just go, "Oh mate, can I have 20p?" And that was basically all he ever did. And he always used to just try and get enough 20p's together to buy a bag of weed. That was all he did.
Okay.
And one day I just saw him and he was just looking nervous. He went, "There's people out to get me, man. There's people just out to get me. I got to get out of here, you know. You want to come?" And I just went, "Yeah."
Yeah,
and I just went along.
Where did he go?
And I thought this was like one of those we just went to a church and then no, but like it got weirder, right? Because in the church there was a pub and I didn't even know.
Oh, well,
and it was just, and then when we went to the pub was like had been closed down for a while, but for some reason he knew the guy that run it, and we went down there and we got 2 Guinnesses, and I was like 14 at the time, but the guy just served us anyway, and it was this like weird old kooky like bloke with one eye, and this is like the story is just so weird,
so strange. Yeah, adventurers welcome.
Yeah, and he was just like, "All right, lads."
You went for a portal.
Yeah, and he basically knocked on the door, and the pub was like definitely closed, and it was all dark, and we went in there, and the bloke like lit up a switch, and he went, "All right, lads."
It's like he'd just been sitting there waiting for that moment.
Yeah, and he just goes like,
"Guinness, is it?"
Yeah, he's like, two Guinnesses, and he could tell I was underage, like really underage.
Really underage.
And then he's like, 2 Guinnesses, is it? And then we were like, yeah, fine. And I drank it, and I hated the taste of it. And then he was just like, "See, we ain't been open for business for months because we've had rats." And I was like halfway through my Guinness, and I was like, and then, of course, Russell,
big buggers they are.
Russell didn't give a shit because he was getting a free beer. We just went in there and got free beers, and I don't know why. And it was the weirdest thing. And he was just like, "Listen, man, I can't tell you why, but there's people out to get me, and this is the only place that I feel safe." And it was just the weirdest thing. And so, yeah, I mean, if somebody handed me a sword and just went defend the sanctuary, I think I'd just go.
Hell yeah.
Because like now I've got this weird story where I got fed rat beer and went with a weird guy into a church pub.
Well, you're used to it, mate.
Secret church pub.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Should we go down to secret church pub after? Right, lads.
I would never go back there. It's weird,
Imagine
man.
he's still there, the guy.
Yeah, and but now you just see is like a skeleton being picked clean by rats.
The jaw just goes,
Do you believe in skeleton stories, boy?
You better. Brilliant. And Matt finishes with, thanks for the fun podcast times, and may all your tabletops be a bit of a twat.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, Matt. That's brilliant.
And next up, we got a question from somebody that always knows the direction.
He always knows the way.
It is da way.
It's da way.
He says, anime Asian fantasy has many aspects. I'm not sure how to skin or make characters. For instance, ninjas, monks and samurai who have many special semi-mystical martial arts powers and styles. What would you do to make some of those supernatural martial powers come to life?
Ooh.
But with regards to martial arts, though, I always find it's a really difficult one to do, because it's like, if you're playing a guy that just uses his fists...
Yeah.
It can get boring unless you're playing a system that's got martial arts built into it.
Yeah, I mean...
Because you're... I feel like a lot of the time you're just either just going to be... In like a lot of games, you might...
Sean's monk was very not conventionally monk. That's cool.
In Pathfinder, though, you've got monk abilities and things like this.
Yeah.
And like a lot of games, like... don't cater for that well.
Mm-hmm. I know what you mean.
You know, where you'll just be doing unarmed strikes most
Every
of the time, and it's just boring. And it's like, as much as you can flavour it up every time.
Where's the spinning bird kick?
Yeah, you could just be like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm gonna leap towards them and I'm gonna kick him in the jaw, and it's just like, yeah, but mechanically every time you're just rolling the same shit.
The same thing, yeah.
I think depending on what system you're using, it's how you bring it to life is going to be completely different, because with regards to the mystical powers, for example, Deadlands has martial arts guys in it, bruv.
Nice.
And it does it really well, because you've got your key powers and stuff like that. And to me, that feels kind of like an Avatar type situation, where you know you're channeling your energy from within, and you're this like mystical ninja bloke.
Yeah.
Or mystical monk type guy, Shaolin thing. You know, cartoony but cool. But then, and you pick a martial arts style that actually affects the way you fight, which is really cool. But then, like, if you're doing it with vanilla Savage Worlds, you just pick the martial artist edge, and I think it gives you, like, I don't know, +2 to fighting or some stupid shit like that.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, it's like, okay, cool, it's good, but that's as an add-on.
We want more. Yeah.
It's like as an afterthought. If you want your character to do a bunch of shit, but also have good unarmed attacks, that's all it is.
Yeah.
It couldn't be the crux for an entire basis for a character. Otherwise, it literally would just get boring. So I don't know. I mean, it really depends.
Like you said, if you've got a certain style, could determine different things. Like if you're a judo expert or something, you might be very good at grappling.
And I personally think if you're going to do a martial arts or samurai or whatever based game, I think pick the right system.
Yeah.
Because there was a samurai based game called, I think, the Seven Rings. I might be misremembering the name. It was the something Rings. And I read about it a little bit, and it was really, really cool the way it did it, and it was really faithful. If you want to do a samurai game, look into that. Something Rings. I'll try and put it in the description if I remember.
Yeah.
And martial arts type games, you know, maybe Deadlands is a good one to go. Just maybe use Savage Worlds, but rip the martial arts rules from the Deadlands.
Yeah, Blackwood's got Kung Fu in it.
Blackwood as well. That's got really cool rules for Kung Fu and stuff in there, so that's coming out soon. Check that out.
I'll back that shit.
So yeah, there's a bunch of good systems out there. I would say probably the best, some of the best advice I could give if you wanted to do a good martial arts and good sort of Asian sorcery type game, is pick the right fucking system.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them treat it in a very boring way.
You want something that gives it the finesse it deserves.
Another one is a diffusion system, Usagi Yojimbo, and I think if I'm right, it means traveling samurai rabbit. if I'm not mistaken there, I think that's what it means, and it's based on an old cartoon where you play as anthropomorphic animals that are samurais.
Awesome.
And it's pretty good. And so yeah, that's a good one. So yeah, pick the right system, and hopefully it will treat it what you're trying to do with respect, and you will actually get some good use out of it.
And borrow some concepts from stuff you like.
Exactly.
Yee. Okay, brilliant. Thank you very much. Next question is from Mr. Owen Lean.
It's the lean.
It's the lean mean machine.
He's always lean up.
Yep. Besides a D6, which dice do you think looks most like a piece of cheese?
It's got to be a D4, isn't
it? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. D4, yeah.
A D4 because when you cut a wedge of cheese, it's that shape.
Yeah.
So thanks, Owen.
Thanks for that, mate. Matty Stark asks, if you were sucked into the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles world and you could pick any character from that world, who would you want to be? Explain why you would choose that character. By any character, I mean heroes and villains. Well, there's only one for me, mate.
You know what annoyed me about this is he included a list of characters at the end, like as if I don't fucking know, Matt.
I grew up on that TV.
Yeah, mate. I did nothing but play these video games when I was a kid.
Absolutely loved Turtles. Mate, there's only one for me. Casey Jones.
Really?
Yeah, Mr. Vigilante himself. I love him.
He was
Just
fucking cool.
His attitude. Do you remember like, hey, don't litter, and he just beat the shit out of him with a hockey stick.
It's like the crime you've just committed is way worse than littering.
Yeah, you've just committed battery,
assault
for someone that's fucking littering.
It's like cutting someone's
head
head
off. Rules. Yeah, and he had like a Jason mask. He always had like 2 hockey sticks like in a scabbard behind him, and he would just give everybody a piece of his mind. He just didn't give a shit. I loved him.
You know what? Because I grew up on the old kung fu movies and stuff like that. I liked Ratface.
Oh, Splinter.
Splinter, that was his name.
Krang was funny.
I hated Krang, mate.
Well, I always used to laugh because I couldn't help looking at the body's head because it was just a really thick guy. Like he had just a little line for a mouth and glasses, and Krang used to do all the talking.
Yeah.
But if you concentrate on that guy, he just looked really dumb. Just.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Splinter.
They were lazy in that show.
Splinter and Shredder I always liked, and I liked Shredder because in the cartoon he was voiced by what's his name, who played Uncle Phil.
Oh yeah, was that him? I believe I made a funny.
Yeah, and there's some great videos on YouTube. Oh man, I wish I could remember his name. That seems really insulting because he sadly died recently. But the guy who played
Uncle Phil. So everyone knows him as.
Yeah, the guy who played Uncle Phil played Shredder as well.
That's
and
brilliant.
There's some great mashups where people have taken lines from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and they've inserted into the Turtles cartoon. And he's basically the same voice. So he's like, Turtles, I'm going to cut you into soft, fluffy marshmallows. It's fucking cool, man.
They were lazy on that cartoon, though. Do you remember they'd always get the voices wrong for what character was talking? So it'd be like Donatello would be chatting, but it would be Leonardo that was doing the talking. It's like, oh, just watch the program and you edit it.
Yeah.
But no, it's a great show. Loved it.
And the video games are fucking great as well, man.
Turtles in Time is one
Turtles
of the best
in Time
games ever.
It truly is.
Such a
and
good
actually,
game.
we missed a session of our RPG session recently where I wasn't able to DM because I was taking my wife to the hospital. But I managed to get back for the last couple of hours, and we had sort of a video game session playing instead, and we played Turtles in Time.
Oh boy.
And it was fucking wicked, bro.
Such a good game.
And I played it at London Anime and Gaming Convention recently. I don't know why I wait till those times so I can play it, because I can play it any time.
Years ago. I first played that when I was in America on an arcade machine.
Yeah, he's a corker, man.
I
Absolute
loved it.
corker.
Absolutely loved it. Thank you very much, Matt. That was a very nostalgic question. I like crushing it.
Yeah.
Next question's coming from the jolliest GM there is, Mr. JC Locke.
He's here.
And he asks, what were some of the other names you could have used before you settled on Tabletop Twats? I don't think it was, mate. I think it was literally the first one that came into our head.
No, the first one that we suggested was Dice Lads, but we sort of said it ironically, and then it was Tabletop Twats was the first one. And the reason that we settled on that almost immediately was because we felt like it summarised the show. Basically, it tells you what the show is about, and that it has
a couple of idiots running it.
Yeah, and no censorship.
And no censorship, doesn't take itself too seriously, and we didn't realise that how bad the word is in America, but
whatever.
We've not had any complaints.
But you know, we did have a couple of people sort of say at the beginning when we sort of posted this show on Reddit and stuff.
I wouldn't listen to that because of the title.
And we're like, well, that sort of makes sense, and that's sort of what we wanted, because ideally people that are turned off by the name will most probably be turned off by the content.
That's true.
And if we had a name that was family friendly and people then listen to the show and go, oh my god, there's so much vulgarity, there's so much stupid puerile humour. And then we'll be like, well, you know, at least this name
the Dice Gentlemen, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you hear our crap, it's just like,
whoa,
like,
hang on, these aren't gentlemen at all.
They're assholes. So exactly. So you you know what you get with us from the off go.
Yep.
And from the off go,
From the off go, mate.
From the off go,
From the off go, you know what you got to get.
From the on off, you know what you're getting.
So I think as soon as we thought of it, it was perfect. It's not like it's the best name on the planet, but I think it suits it.
We don't profess to be experts
At names,
which exactly.
Which is my son is called Boo Boo Chaboo.
Everyone knows that.
I forgot to give him a good name.
We've got a new listener.
Hello,
new listener. He's got one of the coolest names ever.
Go.
Conrad Erasmus Newbert.
He sounds like a space travelling adventurer.
He does, doesn't he?
A space dandy.
Yeah, he does sound like a space dandy. So, Mr. Conrad Space Dandy says, "Hi. So I've now listened to all the Tabletop Twats episodes."
You poor man.
Yeah, what are you doing? Great show, beginning to end. Seriously awesome. Well, thank you very much.
Thanks, man.
I do have a question for your next podcast. I suspect it has been asked before, and you did not publish it on the podcast because it seems a bit obvious. And it is, what does Chicken McBosh mean? Is it something a native English speaker would understand? Google basically only gave me this, and then he's shared a link to something. It's a textbook on the letters and life of Herbert Spencer. And indeed, there are chicken and a Scottish Dr. McBosh mentioned. But neither are located in a context that I thought to be inspiring for a podcast tagline.
Just to let you know, mate, we will never, ever
reveal
what that means.
Yeah. And then he finishes with, also, are there taboos for you when gaming with teens, other than the ones you might have when gaming with adults? Greetings.
We don't actually ever game with teens.
No.
I sometimes game at them, like aggressively in the street. I'll just go up to them and be like, "You stand in a cave, what do you do?" And they'll be like, "Ah!"
Then they go, "I knife you, bro."
And then I'll be like, "Try it, mate." No, no, we don't. But often when we're playing at my mate James's house, his daughter is in the room for the first few hours because she's still up.
And it's really hard to not
swear.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Oh my god!
Forget. When you don't got kids for yourself, you can, you're a big boy. You can use whatever language you like.
Oh yeah,
and it's
don't tell me what to do.
Yeah, exactly. And it's easy to forget when there's delicate ears around.
Yeah, but no, the thing is, we often make mistakes. But very fortunately, she's a very mature person who understands that language is for adults.
Yes.
But we still apologise every time we make a mistake.
Yeah, or try to style it out by saying, "I said fudge."
Yeah.
Or whatever.
This vampire comes up to you and he says, "Fudge you," and he fudges you right in the arms.
In the arms.
Yeah, and he calls you an arms hole. Yeah, so I guess as soon as she goes to bed, it sort of goes back to normal.
Mate. Yeah, exactly. But no, we haven't played with teens. Probably a good thing. So yeah, welcome to the mayhem, Conrad Erasmus Newbert.
It's very good to have a new listener.
It's very nice to have a new listener, and greetings back to you, mate. Keep them coming in. We really appreciate it.
We appreciate the questions.
We have one more.
Do we?
We have one more from Zovia RPG Maps.
Yes. So hang on. Is this Zovia RPG Maps creator of the finest maps known to man?
The very same.
Because I went to an art gallery in Monaco recently.
Yeah.
And guess what was hanging there?
Not a Zovia RPG map.
No, but they should have been.
There should have been one. Yeah, exactly. Next year.
That's our campaign. Hashtag Zovia Monaco.
Yeah, Zovia Monaco. We're going to start trending.
Yep.
I don't know what that means.
I don't even know either.
That's what the cool kids say. Right, and Zovia asks, in a teen game, does puberty give a character higher or lower charisma scores, and why? Good question.
That's a good question, because I think it depends on how badly it affects you. Because I remember at school, right, if you were one of the kids that had a deep voice but no spots, you would king shit of fuck mountain.
Yeah, because you were the one that could go and order the beers.
Yes, exactly.
You could get the beers from the off license, so your charisma was through the roof.
Because I remember what I used to do, because I was slightly older than my mates, because I had a deep voice, but I had quite a good skin. So I would go into the shop, right, I'd have my phone, and I'd put it to my ear, and I'd go, "Yeah, I'll be out in a minute, but just stay in the car with the kids." and then I'd just... And I'd
just pick up my liquid lunch.
Yeah, and I'd be wearing James's dad's suit. And he was obviously he's much bigger gentleman than me. Like, I'm not just talking about
just a kid in an oversized suit.
Yeah, and he's much taller than me, obviously, because he was an adult, right? So the sleeves are right down.
Yeah,
But I'd be like, I just stay in the car with the kids, and then
I need to finish this deal.
And then I put the beer on the counter. But It was my charisma that did it.
Oh, yeah.
I got served. I mean, I probably only did this like twice.
Yeah, no.
But I got the beer.
There you go, mate. Well, to be fair,
I was like 14-year-old
I did
pretending
something a bit like that, actually. I had like a fake leather jacket that God knows where it come from, and it had like shoulder pads in it, so it actually made you look a lot broader than you actually were. And because I was graced with like bum fluff at about 13, I had a bit of bum fluff and obviously a fake leather broad jacket, shoulders, leather jacket kind of thing. So I used to go in there and be like, all right, mate. There was this one place that was like, mate, you could have been literally a kid and they still would have served you.
Yeah.
He was the kind of guy that goes, 20 Bensons, please. And I was like, do you want them Bensons or you want the Bensons I've got under the counter? Like that kind of shop. But yeah, the leather jacket helped out.
So I reckon
charisma scout.
But then,
the chart.
Let's say, for instance, you get the bad puberty, and you've got mad acne.
Mad acne. I had bad acne. No, actually, it wasn't acne. It was spots. But yeah, I had an eruption just before the old school leavers photo, which is always nice.
Oh, shithouse.
Yeah, I know.
So I reckon, and maybe then that might give you a minus to charisma.
Mm-hmm.
But also, you might get a minus to charisma if you're one of those teens that's a moody,
angsty little
angst
fucker. Yeah.
So
no
I think
charisma because I got no friends.
I think puberty's a spectrum, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, make
it's
what
high.
you will of puberty, man. It's an unpredictable beast, that's for sure.
I think that if in any case it would be like if we were talking about Savage Worlds or something like that, it would be a list of edges and hindrances to do with it. It wouldn't be just one.
You'd have a random table, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
do you remember the skating clothing brand that used to be called Puberty, and it was like the developing company, and it used to make like skaters jeans.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Yeah, I know, real bad. I used to be an inline aggressive skater back in the day. You see.
You were an aggressive skater. What? You were just sort of angry.
Yeah, I could never grind anything.
You were just a really aggressive skater.
Yeah.
Oh god, here comes the aggressive skater.
He's such an aggressive skater. Fuck!
You just skate through the half pipe,
screaming.
There's like a man-shaped hole.
It's the aggressive.
Oh god, it's the aggressive skater. He's gone. Thank God. Take a note of that. That can be a character.
Stop. Yeah, the aggressive skater. I like that. And that is all the electro letters we have this week.
Well, fuck me. That was a really good load of questions. Thanks so much, and thanks for those
we asked and we received.
Yeah, you the guys.
You all the guys and gals.
Well done for getting in touch. We appreciate the questions. We always do.
We appreciate you
and everything
and all that you do.
Oh goodness me.
So bad.
Kill me. So well done. Thank you for getting in touch, and please keep them coming in. And keep them coming in throughout the week if you fancy. We would always like to keep in touch with you. Nick, I've just got one last question for you. How do you like to masturbate?
I like crushing it.
Okay, thank you very much.
야, 내 이름은 게리 가각스고 내가 러시안 애들 패고 있지 않을 땐 난 테이블탑 트왓의 방송을 듣지.
So, let's say, for instance, you've listened to the show and you think that you want to get in contact with us.
You think, who we?
Those guys know what they're talking about.
I want to flick them a letter.
Flick them a letter, flick them a bean. Then, how would you do that, mate? What's our email address?
Well, if your preference was email, you'd send a email.
What is it? First of all, what's an email? No, it doesn't matter.
Well, if you did want to send an email to us, you would do so by sending it to tabletoptwats@gmail.com. Twitter is
at TableTopTwats.
Yes. Facebook is facebook.com/tabletopT.
And I think this is time that we retired the Tumblr. So this is the last time we're ever going to mention it. So if you want to have one last look at that Tumblr, it's got one GIF on there.
It's a dark, dark place.
It sucks. We hate it.
Yeah.
We've never figured out how Tumblr works, and we're never fucking using it again.
We've had one notification on there, so it's a load of shit.
So we're getting rid of Tumblr from now on.
See you later. But most importantly, if you would like to support the show,
yes, please have a look at our Patreon, which now belongs to us. Finally, we finally got it back.
And we have been giving bonuses away.
We have. So go to patreon.com/tabletoptwats. Is it?
That's it, mate. Yep.
Well, we'll put a link in the description anyway. But on there, you will find there are 2 bonus podcasts on there. We also did one of those was a live stream that we did on our Discord where you could come in and chat to us.
Yep.
And we answered your questions live. And it was so much fun. My head fell off. And not only that, I just did a new Patreon podcast where I showed you an album I made when I was a teenager.
Yes. And it's like a director's cut type thing with commentary.
With commentary. Yep. It is the worst album ever made by man, and it is fact, a scientific fact, and it is quite funny actually.
Yeah, it's one of the best lines I've ever heard though. Was it, "I'll smack your face like a bum"?
Yep.
Incredible.
That was one of the lines from one of the songs. So I would highly recommend that you, sling us a buck if you can. If you can't, do not worry. But there is some extra content on there for you if you do.
Yep.
So, and with that just leaves one thing to be said, because we always give you a thought of the week,
Something to ponder on, some mind food to munch into, to mull over while the week goes through.
And you're waiting for the next episode, you've got to have something, to keep you going.
A topic of convo with your friends.
Yeah, so this week is going to be no exception. So the thought of the week: are carpets just toupees for the floor? And with that leaves just one thing to be said. One thing that binds us all, one thing that lets us know that we are in fact just one person, that we are just a hive mind of bees. We're just like human bees, all acting as one.
Energy source working
like a battery to keep this earth alive, this dirty circle that we all travel on through the stars. And one day we will reach our destination, because we all in our hearts know this one piece of information that connects us, and that piece of information is thus:
Checking Mukbosh.
Take that! And one of these!
That's it, hit him! That's it, go for it! Go for the eyes! I hate the eyes!
Okay, I'll go for the eyes. What's this one?
Onion nut! Onion nut!
Yeah!
Get Bubblegum's butt!
Right, I'll see you later, you bitch!
Alright guys, I'm back. I just took a little break there.
Oh, look who it is.
Sorry. So, how'd it go, guys? Hey.
Oh, so you want to know how the fight goes? Now it's over.
Yeah, I was just, wait, who's this guy?
You left my sorry ass for grass, run away, and I had to be saved by Sir Onion Knight over there.
Hi, nice to meet you. You're the coward that left your friend for dead.
The very same.
Not quite. I think what you're misunderstanding. Basically, what I was doing was I was over there looking for a sharp stick, and then I was going to come back and kill the Bonacon.
Right, seems like a likely story, and yet I fought off this beast using only a bag of onions. And you're saying that you couldn't...
Mr. Onion Knight, he's not from this world.
Well, no, I'm not, but I was gonna kill it.
Yep, sure.
I was.
I could see the ferocity in your eyes. You meant business as soon as you could find somewhere to hide. I mean, a weapon.
So you're a bit of a poofter, aren't you?
How dare you? That's sexist and rude, and I won't have that. And you can just piss off, and don't hold that bag of onions up to me.
I just fought off a Bonacon using these, and I would suggest you back down, sir, or I will smash you over the head.
Listen, I don't have time for this. You leave me alone.
Well, actually, you do have quite a lot of time. You're not doing anything else, are you?
Pussy fart.
Good one, Onion Knight.
Shut up. Right, I'm walking. Shut up.
Oh, don't be sad, Harrison.
Don't leave me alone.
Come back. Look, come
shut
back.
up.
Come back to Nige. Come on, Onion Knight didn't mean it. He's just a bit pumped up from the fight.
I did mean it.
No, I know. Onion Knight.
So, where are you guys headed?
Well, I'm hoping you could help me. We're actually looking for the necromancers.
Yeah, we've been searching for like fucking months, man, or whatever.
We did party with the mushroom guys, though. It was great.
We partied with the mushroom guys. We got smoked on by the woodland weedmen. We fought the Bonacon. We've been in these woods for ages, man. I don't know. We're looking for the necromancers. You have any idea how much longer we got to walk?
They should just be up on that ridge over there.
Really?
Yeah, they're in that tavern by the mountain.
But the mountain tavern just up the way?
Should be only a 10-minute walk.
I knew it. See, Harrison, you didn't believe me. Oh, ye of little hope and all this. And I got you to where we needed to go. See, good old Nige comes up trumps again.
Yeah. All right, come on.
Who the best peace lock?
Nige,
that's who.
Okay, fine. Alright.
I'm in a very good mood. Thank you, Onion Knight.
I'm going to come with you. It seems that you guys could do with the protection. I don't want you to get mauled by any shit.
Couldn't agree more.
Onion Knight joins the party. Hang on a minute. I thought the necromancers were like some sort of ancient order of spellcasters. This is called the Fat Goose. This is a pub.
Quite.
But isn't this like a pub? I mean, what I'm trying to say.
An inn?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, was this... I mean, I can hear some sort of raucous music coming from within. I mean, what I'm trying to say is like an ancient order of wizards that can do spells and magic that will send me back to my dimension. Would they usually operate out of a pub playing raucous music at the base of a mountain? Do you know what I mean? It just doesn't seem conventional.
Well, I think you're wrong about what the necromancers are. Here, have a look at this.
A poster.
Yes.
The Necromancers. Live, tonight. For one night only. Plus special guests, the Fuckheads. What the fuck?
The Necromancers are a band.
Do you have bands where you're from, Harrison?
Yeah, we've got
music collectives.
Yes, we've got bands. I'm just saying that... So, Nigel, you knew this all along.
Of course. I'm a big fan of the Necromancers.
How did this never come up before?
You didn't ask. You just took your assumptions and toddled off into the woods, and I followed you. You never actually said, Nigel, are the Necromancers a band or a bunch of old wizards? If you had asked, I would have said they're a band, of course. At least we're going to listen to some good music on the way.
I, for one, can't wait. They're pretty dope.
They are pretty sick.
Oh my... Do they do magic?
You'll have to wait and see.
In a way, isn't music a kind of magic?
Good point.
No!
Oh, don't be such a worrywart.
This is ridiculous.
Now, come on. Onion Knight, grab his other arm, let's pull him in.
Look, I'll pay for your ticket. Come on, let's go in.
Greetings, Cuntington. We are the Necromancers, and this... Shut up, Rachel.
Sorry.
And this is... Meatsuck Magic.
See, I told you. The Necromancers rock the fucking place apart.
He's not wrong though.
Excuse my French, I've had a grimble.
I've had a few as well. I feel a little tipsy, I've got to be honest with you.
Come on, Harrison, loosen up.
Oh, fuck it. Alright, yeah, I've got to be honest with you. This is pretty fucking rocking.
I told you so.
Yeah, alright. I'm going in the mosh pit. Whee!